Alright, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate your macros, whether you want to be in a cut or if you want to be in a bulk. So the first thing you have to figure out is how many calories you have to consume to maintain your body weight. Now, if you're someone who's very sedentary and you don't move around a lot, all you have to multiply your body weight is going to be by 14 because you don't need as much calories to actually maintain your body weight because you're not very active during the day. But if you're someone who's super active, you're running around all the time, then 16 is the amount of you're going to be multiplying your body weight from. So personally, I'm only active 4 days a week, which is going to be Monday through Thursday because that's when I'll be on campus. While Friday through Sunday, I'm going to be very sedentary. I have a desk job, so I don't move around a lot. So I'm going to multiply my body weight 200 by 15. So 200 times 15 is going to be 3,000 calories. So that's how many calories I have to consume to stay at 200 pounds. But if I'm personally deciding I want to be in a cut, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 300 calories and I'm going to subtract it by 500. So 300 minus 500 equals 2,500 calories. And that's how many calories I ought to be consuming to lose body weight and to actually be in a caloric deficit. But if you want to be someone who's in a bulk, all you have to do is instead of subtracting by 500, you add 500 to your maintenance calories. Now, the next step is going to be figuring out how much protein you need to consume, which that's honestly dependent on whether you want to be in a cut or a bulk, and it also depends on how much body fat you have. Now, if you're someone who's in a very high body fat percentage, you don't need as much protein, even if you're going to be in a cut, because you have so much body fat, you want to actually stay at 0.8 protein, okay? While if you're someone who is very lean, now you would want to be at 1.25. Now the reason is when you're very lean, you want to try to consume as much protein as you physically can, just because you don't want to lose any of your muscle mass. You want to try to maintain as much as possible. But let's say you're on average, you're in the middle range, you're not very lean, you're not very fat, right? But you still want to be in a caloric deficit, you want to be in a cut, then you want to be at 1.25. And this is because when you're in a cut, you're consuming less and you want to actually maintain as much muscle while you're in that caloric deficit. While if you're someone who's trying to bulk up, you could be at 0.8, but honestly, majority of people, and what I would recommend is just staying at 1. So I'm going to personally multiply my body weight by 1. So 200 times 1 is 200 grams of protein. So that's how many grams of protein I'm going to be consuming throughout the day. Now, as far as fat, it's honestly off of preference. If you want to consume a higher fat diet just because you prefer to eat nuts, things like that, fish like salmon, then you want to be at 0.4 for your multiplier. While for someone who personally prefers carbs like me rather than fat, you multiply by 0.3. But honestly, if you don't care, you just kind of want a number to multiply your weight by, just do 0.35, which is the easiest thing to do. So 200 times 0.35 is going to be 60 grams of fat. So before we can actually calculate how many carbs you're going to be consuming, we have to figure out how much each gram is going to be worth in calories. So for 1 gram of fat, it is going to be the highest amount of calories. It's going to be 9 calories per gram, while for protein and carbs per gram, it's only going to be 4 calories. So now that you know this, we're going to be taking our protein and our fat and multiplying them by the amount of calories they're worth. And the reason why we're doing this is because you want to take those two sources of your calories and you're going to subtract them from your total amount you're going to be consuming so you can get the remaining amount of calories to be carbs. So 200 times 4 is going to be 800 calories, while 60 times 9 is going to be 540 calories. And these are going to be the amount of calories you consume from consuming the protein and then the amount of calories you consume from the fat. So then you want to add these two together and your total is going to be 1340. And this is going to be the amount of calories just from protein and fat. Now, if you remember before, I said I want to be in a cut. So I'm going to be taking that 2,500 and subtracting that 1340 from it. So 2,500 minus 1340, and that's going to be the amount of calories remaining, which is 1160. Now from this 1160, we want to make all these calories to be carbs. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 1160 and you're going to divide that by the 4 calories each carb is worth. So 1160 divided by 4 is going to equal 290 grams of carbs. So that right there, you finally have the easy way to calculate your macros. So if you remember before, you're going to be multiplying your body weight first by one of the numbers in this multiplier to get your maintenance, and then depending on if you want to be in a cut or a bulk, you're going to be either subtracting or adding calories to your maintenance. Then for your protein, you're going to be figuring out whether you want to be in a cut or a bulk, and then multiplying your number by that amount. And then once again, fat is off of personal preference. Whether you want to consume more or less fat is up to you. And then once you calculate those 3, you're going to be calculating your carbs by going through this process. So now my final totals are going to be 2,500 calories and then 200 grams of protein, P for protein, right? And then 60 grams of fat and 290 grams of carbs. So hopefully now you know an easy way to calculate your macros. And if you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. I'll see y'all in the next one.